The champagne glass tilted in her hand, sunlight fracturing through the stem like a scalpel. She said it casually, like breathing. The patio is for failures. Her lips curled as she watched me take my seat outside, alone, as usual. My brother laughed, but it was the kind that shrinks when you're alone later, staring at the ceiling. He never knew how to stand up to her, or maybe he just didn't want to. I took a sip of black coffee while they drank their golden bubbles, toasted to promotions I'd funded, smiled for cameras I installed. She leaned into him like a trophy draped in poison. Her eyes met mine once. She knew. The helicopter came 5 minutes later. The blades roared. Wind scattered napkins and napkin-level dreams. She dropped her glass. So did he. I stood slowly, straightened my suit, and smiled for the first time in weeks. "Emergency board meeting," I said. But it wasn't about business. It was about truth, and who wouldn't survive it? The first time I heard the rumor, it came in whispers from a client who didn't know I was listening. His brother's wife? Yeah, her. I hear she's cozy with both. Both. My brother and me. It would have been laughable if it hadn't felt so precise. She always hovered too close, laughed too easily, touched too freely, and I always kept my distance, out of loyalty, out of disgust. But distance doesn't stop shadows. I started noticing the small things, the way my brother's stories didn't line up, the pauses when I entered a room, her scent in places it didn't belong. One morning I found a watch, not mine, not my brother's, under the guest bed, engraved, forever, M. No one in our family has a name that starts with M, except her, and my second in command. I didn't ask questions. I documented. Hotel receipts, flight logs, secret dinners paid for by a corporate card I never approved. I hired a private firm, quiet, discreet, expensive. They traced text messages through burner apps, reconstructed deleted conversations, hacked security footage from luxury suites. The footage came in slow, pixelated betrayal. She laughed with him in the hotel lobby, same laugh she used on me. She touched his shoulder, then his chest, the same hand that wore the family ring. I watched everything, all of it, over and over again. Not because I needed proof, but because I needed to feel nothing. Each replay drained something from me, until all that was left was calculation. I restructured the company that week, shifted my brother's role. Quietly. He didn't even notice. She certainly didn't. I gave her a seat on the advisory board. Let her think she was ascending. I sent her champagne after the first board appearance. A note, for the queen of the patio. Enjoy the view while it lasts. She thought it was flirty. It wasn't. I waited for the anniversary party, our father's legacy celebration. Press, investors, old money with sharper teeth than we ever had. The night was glitter and glass, lies draped in sequins. She wore silver, claimed it made her feel untouchable. I handed my brother a small envelope. He smiled, thought it was a gift. Inside was a photo. His wife, mouth on someone else's collarbone. The man he called his best friend. He didn't react, not immediately. He just looked up at me, throat moving slowly like swallowing razors. "She said you were lying," he whispered. "She says a lot of things," I replied. Then I turned and walked into the crowd, leaving him with the weight of silence. The helicopter wasn't planned. It was tactical. Noise, spectacle, disruption. I landed it on the lawn during brunch. Family gathered, photos mid-pose. Everyone turned. I stepped out like the ending of a war. No greeting, no smile, just a folder in my hand, sealed in black wax. I walked past my brother, past her, set the folder on the table beside the croissants, addressed to the board, The family, the press. Inside, images, timestamps, betrayal lined up like bullets. She lunged for it. I let her. The seal broke. Truth spilled. Her face cracked. Not fear, exposure. The worst kind of death for someone who builds thrones out of secrets. "Why?" she said, voice barely more than a breath. I leaned in, eyes on hers. "Because you mistook proximity for power." She reached for my brother. He stepped back. Then again, and again, until the only thing left between them was everything she'd destroyed. They left that night, in separate cars. The party continued without them. Money clinked in glasses. Laughter returned, slightly sharper, slightly colder. I stood on the same patio where she'd once whispered judgment. The wind was clean now, uncluttered. My brother hasn't called. He won't. He knows. She's off social media, probably rebuilding, rebranding. But some reputations don't recover. They rot, quietly, from the inside out. The patio isn't for failures. It's for survivors with sharper teeth.